I'm grateful to have you in the room, Brittany. Don't bite my head off. I'm just being honest with you. All right? That's the image that went across a lot of people's minds, and you got the opportunities to jump in on podcasts, jump on interviews, jump on your own live to show a lot of people that you're a lot more clever than a lot of people had given you credit for. So they're sitting here thinking, oh, that something changed.
And I think all basketball, NFL, rap is suckers. It ain't just I just wasn't pertaining that to one guy. I think at some point all of them become suckers, and they forget what's really important. One of the realest things my mother told me one time, she said, "Son, the best gift you can give your children is to treat their mother right." And I've been treating their mother right ever since.
Like that.
Yeah. I like that too.
I'm a mama's boy.
Yeah,
so
me
that
too.
is the most important thing.
Yeah, homie. So
you know
I've always desired to have daddy. But mother's instructions always seem to be right, to make sense in your spirit and in your conscience. Mm-hmm. So I try to, my mother's voice rings loud in my head when I'm thinking about right or wrong.
I'll be honest with you, and I just had this conversation probably 3 times in the last week. The people that I actually hate the most in my life are people that I see openly disrespect their mothers. I feel like if you could openly disrespect your mother,
you'll f me over.
Anything.
What you'll f me over?
And there's a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of we're all figuring life out at once, right? A lot of people judge their parents in hopes that, or with the idea of they should have it figured out. They're making mistakes. We all make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people would judge their parents on stuff like that. The conversation I had more recently was about that. Like, oh, well, my mother isn't perfect. And
I sent you a video last week talking to some kids. And it were predominantly white kids I was talking to at a juvenile facility. And one of the things that I tell children is you have to forgive your parents for what you think they did or didn't do. Because if nothing else, they gave you life. If for nothing else, they put you on stage to perform.
At the minimum.
At the minimum. So,
and it's the only tie in life that you can't cut, right? Like, you could pretend to. You could get divorced. You could separate. You could get rid of a friend, but you can't get rid of your mom. It's still your mom.
Dad,
you can't get rid of your dad. It's still your dad. Yeah, no. And I'm somebody that I pride myself. I want to be the world's greatest dad. Whether they give a title for it or not, I don't really give a goddamn. You know what I mean? But my son is the most important thing.
Yeah, this don't even answer the phone when the baby's sleeping.
Yeah,
so I said, yeah.
Earlier, he tried calling me. I'm like, no.
I look at baby and say, man, the world revolves around you, and every kid should know that.
Yeah. That's it. He gets. So, what's it like being a mother of a 2-year-old? Because I need to know, because my son is just creeping up on that 2-year-old mark, and he's starting to do all sorts of
big.
I think I have a different approach to parenting just in general. I don't look at my child as like my property or someone that I can live vicariously through. So I think just letting them be themselves and not putting your own judgments or where you think they should be, what you think they should be saying or doing, just the whole, just growing up. So, for example, like my son, he didn't start talking until like recently, and then there was concern like, oh, what's wrong? How come he's not talking? And it's like, he'll talk when he's ready. So just kind of having that understanding that like kids move at their own pace, so I don't know. I admire my son. I think he's very curious about the life around him and enjoys the simple things in life. So I don't know. I just think like letting them be their own person, because that's like, they're not our property, to like put a battery in their back and they fulfill whatever we want them to do. Yeah. So that's just me as a mother.
I noticed you got a different side of you on the internet. You got a whole mother page with you and your son.
I do.
Yeah, you don't wear no makeup, your hair. You got a whole mother page, and it's all Mother Brittany that you see. That's so yeah, that's very important. But that page don't have just as many followers as the Brittany, bundle of Brittany.
That's how that goes.
So there's two sides to that coin that I think most people overlook.
Speaking of, would you say becoming a mother has softened you?
Yeah, there was a time where my son was maybe like a few weeks old and I was about to change him and he's just helplessly like kicking his arms and his legs. And I'm not going to lie, I've been the biggest man hater. I have been a loud and proud man hater on social media. And when I saw my son in this vulnerable state, I'm like, this is where all men start. Like this cute little innocent baby. So it really made me look at men a lot differently. And because of having a baby and having a son specifically, it made me like also look at the men that I have wronged in my life. Like I've given a few apologies since my son was born, you know? So yeah, seeing a baby like that and like I said, a baby boy, it just makes you look at men a lot differently.
Yeah. That's what my daughter did. That's what my daughter did for me. Yeah. I was a riding low down dirty motherfucker before that little girl got here. Shit, boy, I ain't bullshit. Boy, but now I have a more conscience because for one, when my son was born, I got kicked out the hospital for arguing with the doctors. So I missed what a woman had to go through to give childbirth. So when I saw my daughter be born, it changed my perception of women, to see what they had to endure to give birth. And then when the girl came, I wanted to live down everything I've wronged that I thought I've done to women, so she don't have to take it. Right. So that's in my mind. Because if I don't, she got to go through it.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
And we ain't gonna let baby girl go down like that.
Nah. So I open doors. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yeah, I try to say sorry when I think I'm wrong. All kind of now, man. So I understand what that did. Yeah.
I saw Joe Rogan podcast. He said, I don't get mad at people anymore. He said, people have their opinions about me. People say crazy things on the internet. I don't care. He said, the way I look at it is we were all infants at some point or another. And it's just we all grew up in a different way. We all went through different traumas, different experiences, different disappointments, different successes. And it all led to who we are right now. So when I look at somebody, I don't see the grown man or grown woman that's in front of me here today. I'm thinking about that child and all the stuff you went through that accumulated that made you so hateful or so bitter. And that's why you're talking like that to me. He said, I don't carry that.
I was going to recycle the bullshit with my son. I would go pass down all the bullshit that our uncles taught us to my son. I thought that was cool because I had him at 25, 26. Yeah, call a woman a bitch, shut up. So, yeah, you know, the bullshit that they teach us. Because I thought that was cool when you have a kid at 25. So when you have a daughter at 30, your mindset is different. You're not young and that immature, so you're kind of looking at life differently. So you're going to, of course, teach your daughter differently as well as raise your son to look out for your sister. Well, if he don't value women, he won't know to look out for his sister. He'll kick her and push her down. Yeah, absolutely. You see what I'm saying? So that's where it starts at. So if he's not being taught that, and then you and his mom is at odds, then he naturally despises women.
Absolutely.
He watching all that.
And it's something I try to, because I'm not perfect, right? And I got a son right now, and he's 16 months old. And I try my best to not argue and get into situations with my girl about anything in life. And it's tough, right? Like, it's tough because we're both growing and learning each other as well, especially through, postpartum and trying to identify with that as a man, and both of us trying to grind, both of us continuously trying to become better people in life. Like, it's not simple for us.
And then us as men being naturally selfish.
For sure.
Because women are givers and we're takers. We'll take, and not realizing how much we're taking out of selfish, right? And then scream and holler.
Yeah. I think the blessing with me having a kid at this time is I was 36.
Yeah, big blessing.
36 years old when I had my son.
Big blessing.
So it's like I wasn't in my 20s because all my boys had children in their 20s and all of them were going through it. Now I already set I'm not the richest man in the world, but I got a good pace in life right now where I'm able to stay home with my son every single day. Yeah. So I'm with him all the time. And now I got a daughter on the way that arrives in January. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what's the due date? Capricorn or Aquarius?
I think it would be Capricorn.
Beginning of January? Like
end of January. Right?
End of January would be Aquarius.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was just thinking my mom is the 20th of January. She is Aquarius, right?